up, everybody? It's the Rottweiler Patriots. I'm Vegas,
Nah, I'm T-Bone.
and we're coming at you with another video today where we're going to be doing our Carolina Panthers Week 14 recap. The Panthers fall to the New Orleans Saints 28-6 in what was a not so great performance from either team. To be quite frank, T-Bone, I'd like to get your thoughts on this one.
We suck. We really suck.
What else is
On
new?
on 4th and 1. I mean, I'm happy we're going for fourth downs, but we need to make the right calls if we're doing that. On 4th and 1, instead of putting it in the hands of Chuba Hubbard, you know what we do? We try and launch it downfield like Mitch Trubisky on 4th and 2. We really, it's really painful because we got to the red zone within like 5 yards of it twice just to settle for 3 total points, which is really abysmal if you think about it. Like utterly abysmal. Uh, we need it. We need a different. We need a different offensive coordinator. We do. Thomas Brown isn't doing it for us. He's not doing good play calls. He was doing all right here and there, but he's not doing great. His wife commented or tweeted out that he's already fired, but has been asked to complete the season. So I don't even know what's going on with that. I know that Tepper talked about inquiring about trading for Bill Belichick, but I don't. What are we going to get? What are we going to give them? And honestly, I don't. I don't want him. I don't. I'm sure he could do some good stuff with this defense, but I don't. I don't. If it costs us to give up key players, I don't want that. That's stupid. It's going to start like a cycle of continual rebranding, which is the problem with rebranding. You can keep rebranding. It's stupid. Um, I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of this team. It pisses me off so much. I'm so tired of it. Uh, Derek Brown's good. Derek Brown has continued to shine here and there, which is nice. Had a couple of tip passes. I think it was really it's nice. It's nice that's. Well, our defense hasn't allowed, I think, over 300 yards ever. It's always been under 300 yards, which is nice. A lot of people are starting to blame Bryce. And, I mean, like, look at all the undrafted quarterbacks winning and stuff. The thing is, I really don't think that people that are saying that Bryce is a bust is they don't understand the kind of the situation we're in. I don't think people understand how crappy we are. A lot of people are saying Bryce is a bust. A lot of, New York Giants fans, New York Jets fans, all that. No, they do not understand how, like, even the Giants. Giants aren't great. They're in a better situation than we are, a little bit. So I just really, it's a matter of coaching and stuff because Bryce is great. I like Bryce. I do. I think he's had the second most. He's had the most throwaways this season. I think the second most in the past 5 years, Tom Brady being the other one in 2019 with 40. So it really, we're just. I really hope that the offensive line knows their jobs are on the line. And by that, I mean they're going to lose jobs. So I really just, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the whole thing. So best thing I can do, hope for, is just keep trying to win and screw the Bears out of their first overall pick, which doesn't seem likely, but who knows. So that's kind of where I'm at, Coaching's not great. We had our guy. Still, not great spots. But it's the fact that Bryce can't even get off like a first read. So that's kind of the still performing. Chuba's doing good. Miles Sanders had a nice run. So that's kind of that's what I gotta say. That's the extent of it.
Yeah, I mean, not really a ton to talk about with Carolina. All of the conversations at this point have kind of been had. It's very clear that they are the worst team in the NFL. Their head coach has been fired. All this stuff surrounding the owner. We've already had all of those conversation. So at this point, it's just trudge your way to the end of the season and be happy with any positives they're able to pick up along the way. Obviously, not a lot in this game, a 28-6 loss, but the in a game where your defense kind of dominated the Saints, 207 total yards, but obviously that blocked punt, bit of a killer. Your offense had its worst game of the season, at least in the passing game. The running game was really good, but no touchdowns generated. It's just you're going through the same things over and over and over again if you're Carolina. Bryce Young struggling behind a non-existent offensive line, inadequate receivers, god-awful coaching, a complete lack of culture, with the defense is doing everything it can to keep you in games due to the offense's bad play, constantly has their backs against the wall, and nothing can be done. So, that it's the same thing that's been said about Carolina all season. This game was no different, and all of the off-field conversations we've already had at this. Like I said, it's just ride it out into the end of the season, and then after the season's over, then you really figure out, okay, who do we want to go after for coaches, players, for this, for that? How do you fix this franchise? What does Tepper have to do? What is this? What is that? And we've already had a lot of those conversations, but once the season ends, that's when the fun really begins, because there ain't a lot of fun in Carolina otherwise. D-Bone, you got any final thoughts before we wrap this one up?
One day we'll get ours. One day.
I'm rooting for you, for sure. I ain't gonna lie, I was watching some Cam Newton clips earlier today, and
Really?
the nostalgia hit was actually kind of nice. Back when your jerseys actually looked good and Nike didn't ruin them.
Our best jerseys were in the 2000s.
More than the 2010s?
Yeah. For me, at least.
So you think the days of Jake Delhomme were greater than the days of Cam Newton?
Looks-wise, Jake Delhomme and Steve Smith, I think, aesthetically, were had a nicer jersey than Cam Newton. Though I will say that it was more fun to watch Cam Newton absolutely truck his way into the end zone. So I didn't.
No. I mean, I agree, and I will say in terms of the look, I think that's because Reebok actually knew how to put some glisten on the uniforms. The silver actually looked like silver and not a bland, ugly gray.
It looks silver.
Nike.
Yeah. I don't think people understand the difference between silver and gray, unfortunately.
Silver needs to have a bit of a sparkle to it, and Reebok put that in the jerseys for his many, many, many faults that the NFL Reebok jerseys had. The piping era. Oh my goodness gracious me! I think that thing is finally over. They knew how to at least make the uniforms shine and glisten. I mean, you still do it with helmets, but helmets are different. You can slap some glitter under a helmet finish. Fabric is different, and Reebok made it work. The fact that Nike can't is incredible. Nike has not been good for the NFL in terms of uniforms and uniform design, in my opinion. A lot of the new uniforms are pretty good, like, the Bengals and the Chargers, the two big teams that come to mind in terms of recent uniform changes that have looked great, but there have also just been some really, really, really bad designs that just do not look good at all, like the Patriots, like the Falcons, like the Cardinals, like the Jaguars, and the way that they use their colors is not good. Like, it isn't just like their color choice, it's also like almost the style the colors are, if that makes sense. Like, you could have like the same blue color, but you can do it in like a different kind of style, like a sparkle, pastel, different things like that. I mean, the Panthers, they literally had the Panthers blue wrong for years. Lord have mercy, did that bug me. They finally fixed it this year. So, I don't know. I am a little bit passionate about uniform design. I'm sure those of you who've been watching for a while know that about me, but I do like to dabble in that. I actually was dabbling in some stuff yesterday. But, yeah, I mean, there's nothing to talk about for the Carolina Panthers when we have to talk about uniforms just to get this video to 10 minutes.
Just kill me, man.
You and me both. Although we won this week, so I still have a little bit of life left in me. I know we ain't as bad as you right now, but I do feel it, yeah, man. I'm rooting for you. I want y'all to win games. And I don't know. Could you maybe win like your next 5? I think that would make my situation as a fan a little better, just because draft picks and stuff.
Yeah.
You mind doing that for me?
I'll try. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. I mean, good luck. I honestly, if y'all win one more, I'm happy for you, because y'all are in a position where it's not looking good. Even that.
Ideally, honestly, what I want is I would like us to win 2 more games, which does not seem likely. But the only reason I'm saying that is because our worst ever showing was 1-15, and I think it would be really humiliating if we went 1-16. Because with that, that extra game in there, so
right.
And I don't want that. I don't want it to be like look, we're 1-16. Because I think we'll be the first team since the new 17-game schedule to have only had 1 win. So I don't want...
The Jags had a 1-win season. Was that the year before 17 was implemented?
Yeah. They were also 1-15. And also, like the 1-15 Panthers, they won their first game and lost the next 15.
Y'all didn't win your first game, but y'all did win the Young versus Stroud game.
Yeah.
Which might be the most important one.
I really wanted that. I really wanted that win. I'm glad we were able to at least get that one.
I was a little surprised. That was not a pretty game, to say the least.
No. That wasn't even our best game either. Isn't that crazy? I think our best game was against the
Seahawks
or Lions. Lions wasn't great, but we got a lot of good points in.
The Andy Dalton game. The first quarter of the Dolphins game wasn't bad.
No.
I mean, if you ignore the vast majority of that game, it was pretty good for y'all.
Yeah. It was nice watching the first quarter. I just wish I stopped then, but...
Yeah, it's like a Houston Texans fan against the Chiefs a few years back.
No, but I really don't want people to blame Bryce, because it's... I mean, no, part of it is it. I guess you could say, a GOAT would let that happen, but also...
He's a rookie.
He's a rookie.
Terrible situation.
Yeah, sure, I hope he takes a look at DeVito and says, I wish I could be that. Let me try and win some games. But, it's also, we're also in a much worse situation. I read a comment on Instagram, and a Giants fan was like, he's just like Tua, but he has more weapons. He's a boss. And I was like, shut up. No. I get it. It's probably humiliating to watch DeVito ball out, but also...
Especially after you just paid Daniel Jones $40 million a year in what was, in my opinion, the worst offseason move of any team this past year.
I can't think of anything worse. I do not know why they did that.
I would have moved on from him completely. I would have been like, nope. You're out. We're gonna look for someone else. That's where.
If I was a GM, I would have shook Daniel Jones' hand, said thanks for getting us to the divisional. Goodbye.
What a playoff game! He won a playoff game, but that was more on Brian Daboll and Saquon Barkley than it was ever on Daniel Jones. Daboll just knew how to limit Jones's mistakes and create a system where he could thrive, which then meant that the very next season, all of the coaches have all this tape on how to stop it and bring Daniel Jones back down to earth. Because that is what happens in the day. You'll see, guys come in, they have a really, really good year, and then the next year it's just less good, and you're like, wait, what happened to this team? They were so good last year. It's because everyone has the tape. A good example of this, actually, 2018 Rams.
I knew you were going to bring it up. I literally said to myself, I'm like, Vegas is going to bring up the Rams, isn't he?
It's the best example of this. It is the best example of this because they had one of the most electric offenses of all time. And Bill Belichick knew how to stop it. And the very next year, everyone had all of this tape and knew this is the best way to stop it. And they stopped it all year. It's like, what happened to this offense? Because they had all the same big pieces. The same coach, the same everything. But what was different is everyone had the tape. And they had figured out what the right moves were to stop it. And so they did. And so the Rams had to rethink everything.
Yeah.
And don't let anyone ever tell you Bill Belichick isn't the greatest coach of all time. Because it's things like that that make him the greatest coach of all time. It's the fact that he took an offense that no one stopped, except for the Bears, weirdly enough, who were terrible that year.
Overall, you can make arguments for other guys like, maybe Shula or Hallis or Brown, but like those old guys. But I think overall, if you take a look at everything and encompass everything, then you can probably make, I think, the correct assumption that he's the best. Because I really am getting sick of just not appreciating championships. It gets me. This is why I don't think LeBron is the GOAT. Jordan is the GOAT. I don't.
If we're going by championship logic, it's Bill Russell, but Jordan is the GOAT.
Jordan, fair. He was a little less competitive back in the years of Bill Russell, but I'm so sick of it. I am so annoyed with it. It's very impressive that LeBron has made it to so many finals. You know what's even more impressive? Getting bounced in most of them. It's so annoying. No, it's the same thing with Andy Reid.
He's lost as many finals as Jordan has won.
The thing is, it's with Andy Reid. It is very impressive that he was able to get to the NFC Championship with Donovan McNabb. And that's not hating on McNabb. I'm a big McNabb lover. He gave me hell in Madden 05. So did Dawkins, and it's very impressive that he's been able to get to so many AFC championships. I think he's the most of any coach to ever get to combined AFC and NFC. Very impressive.
Bill would have that if the Patriots were in the NFC for any period of time.
It doesn't matter if you get bounced in many of them. And I think Andy Reid's a great coach. I would easily say top 50, top 25 even. I'd have to look at it. But are you kidding me? Suddenly he pulls off a great offensive play in the Eagles one, and suddenly he's the GOAT? No, I am sorry. We're not doing that. We're not doing that at all. And that's another thing about the Chiefs game. I'm going to say a little bit about this. I do not care. I don't care about the ref thing. I don't. It really bugs me. It really, really bugs me. Because if Vegas will complain sometimes, I'll be like, "You've won 6. Shut up." Even with the Jets fans, you've won. You've won 1. I don't care if you weren't alive for it. Your grandpa was. You've won 1. You have won. Shut up. And the Chiefs are just whining and whining and whining. 2 games, AFC and Super Bowl, had several ref ball moments happen to go their way. And you're complaining about a regular season Bills game? Are you joking me? Shut up. You won. You have so much success. Shut up. It annoys me to no end. And I'm sorry to any Chiefs fans, Chiefs viewers. I really am. That, sometimes ref ball screws up games. You've had yours. You've had yours. Every team gets crappy calls. Oh, freaking well. Be grateful with what you have. So, I really don't. Especially if you've been alive and cognizant to see one. Because if you're like a baby, I get it. One of our friends is a Steelers fan, and that 2005 one, wasn't really cognizant for it. But I mean, I get it. Chiefs fans have had 2 in the past, isn't it? 4 years now, 3 or 4 years.
It was 2 and 4 years, I think.
Yeah, 2 and 4 years. Shut up. I'm so annoyed at it. Yeah. Maybe it's sour grapes. Maybe I'm salty that I haven't been able to acquire one. Sure. Cool. Okay. You don't know how I feel. You don't know what it's like to not have one. You have three, in fact. You have three. Because your grandpa saw one too. So with Len Dawson. So that. Sorry if it sounds a little bit aggressive, viewers, but I really don't have. I can't afford to care. I can't. I can't afford to coddle your feelings about refs and stuff. We've all had crap. I've had crap and haven't won any. Be grateful for what you get. And that's actually, I really appreciate Vegas has been this. I don't envy what's happening to the Patriots, but at least Vegas has been able to take it in a very mature, very sobering way. Because I know, I've seen some of Patriots Twitter. Some of it's a little ugly.
I live in that space a little bit. It's not. It is a rough place. Fortunately, there are some voices out there who actually have reason, but when you've experienced as much success as New England have, there are bound to be spoiled fans. That is just a reality of the situation. It's just like the rich kid is always a spoiled brat. Because they've had it all. They don't know what it's like to not have it all. So when they don't have it all anymore, they don't know how to react. That's New England right now. So it's yeah. There's definitely a lot of fans who listen for the proportion. And I mean, if you go to our Patriots recap video, I talked about the media and the way they are, and how much I just absolutely despise the state of media and the way they talk about stuff and this and that. And like that's a little bit of like the motivation for why we're doing this, is just try to be something different, refreshing, original, and just not garbage. Just speak our minds honestly and actually try to think before we speak, which a lot of guys don't do in the media. We're not gonna BS you about this or that. We're gonna shoot straight. Are we gonna get it right every time? No, no one does. But the media does not help any of this fan perception garbage. The way they write on things is just awful. But unfortunately, everything is about attention these days. So you have to be like that to get attention. And it's not okay. It's definitely a sign of our collapsing culture, because the whole need for attention spans well beyond just the sports and sports media world. But it definitely has a large negative effect on a lot of things. T-Bone, you were saying something?
I was going to say, you put it nail on the head, Vegas. We may not always get it right every time, and we may sound a little gruff sometimes, but we're always going to be 100% shooting straight with you. We're not going to pee on your leg and tell you it's raining. We won't do that, because it's unfair to you. It's unfair to you, and it's unfair to us. So that was it. Just to sort of add on to it.
Yeah, I mean, I know I said this umpteen years ago, and then we ended up rambling for, I think, longer than both of us anticipated, and not much about the Panthers either. We kind of detoured from there, but there are things to talk about when the team that we're supposed to talk about doesn't have anything to really say about it.
When you're this bad, we've already covered all the bases by minute 3, pal.
Yeah. So, but is there anything else you want to add before we call this one?
No, sir.
Alrighty then. Please be sure to leave your thoughts down in the comments below. We would love to hear what you all have to say. And that is going to do it for us today. Thank you all so very much for watching. Please be sure to hit the like button. Please be sure to subscribe. And we will see you all in the next video.